Hi everyone. I'm sharing a video post today about an economic matter that I think needs to be talked about on video rather than typing out because it can be very tiresome reading a very long article about it. But it's why to invest in Cuba as a long-term investment and to look past the rhetoric that you may see coming out of American media. I think they do a big disservice explaining about the transformation of Cuba. And Cuba is not a big fan of the United States, so they'll say one thing, but you got to look at what the other hand is doing. So with that, back in December, the president opened up talks with Cuba. It caused a little bit of a uproar because of the political side, and that can be debated down the road. But the economic matter of it is that on March the 6th or March the 5th, Cuba met with the Paris Club, and it was an unprecedented meeting because they were there to talk with the wealthy creditor nations about their debt that they owe several other countries, and this isn't talking about the United States. And I think that's one thing you need to understand about it is Cuba, just because the United States has an embargo on it doesn't mean they haven't done business with other countries. But Cuba's moving out of communism and getting away from the 50 years of oppression on their own people. They have to do it in baby steps because a lot of these people are second, third generation, pretty much state dependent people. So you just can't rush a capitalistic society into a country like that. So they had these negotiations over an estimated 15 to 16 billion dollars of debt that it owes about 15 creditors. And I'm just reading here, this was from Reuters on March the 6th. And this started the negotiation process. The Paris Club is about 19 creditor nations. I'll give you a few: Australia, Britain, Canada, Denmark, Switzerland, Sweden, Norway, Russia, Spain, and the United States. But the United States is not involved in these talks at all. So then you head to another article that just came out about this meeting, where it took a few months, but I'm bringing it up here. It's another Reuters. They agree on Cuba's $15 billion in debt. And why this is important, why Cuba is doing this, this was a 1986 default that they had on their debt. Well, now they're willing to get it finalized to where they can start paying on it. And why you need to know that is when you enter in meetings like this with creditor nations and you're saying, hey, we want to get this debt cleared up, because you're looking at a massive expansion in this country on investment. This country is so depleted on anything technology-wise the last 50 years and infrastructure-wise that they need to, if they're going to expand and get people to invest and take on more debt, they have to restructure their debt for payments. And when you meet with these creditors, you're actually laying out a game plan of probably what will be coming in the next 20 to 30 years. This is not a talking points that you would put in the media. These are serious meetings, and these creditors are going to tell you what you're going to do as well. So for all the hoopla about some media pundits saying, well, I hope Cuba doesn't become too Americanized or anything. Well, sorry, the other countries are going to be dictating to them what they need done because they do see a U.S. expansion. And another article that just proves my point about what's coming and the rush of investments is, this was in Yahoo News on May the 25th, where Miami law firms ramp up Cuba strategy. And in this article, the Florida Bar Association was sending its first ever delegation of lawyers to Cuba this week to explore emerging new business opportunities. And some of these are representing companies issuing from telecommunications to banking, and that's about it. But our U.S. clients, some who are Fortune 100 companies, want to know, can foreigners own land in Cuba? What is the power water supply like? What are the workforce rules? So this is big. So if you got some money to put to the side, I can't legally tell you on this video what to invest in, but there are trading funds out there, ETFs, and stocks that you can invest in that will be investing in the telecommunication side. They'll be investing in the infrastructure side. Cuba will probably be shifting to a private property ownership society here pretty soon. Now, the downfall of Cuba is since they've been communists, they'll be like the old Soviet Union where the people in power first get rich because they need to make theirs first. So you'll have a more free society, but people in government will get theirs first. So, like I said, investing in Cuba is going to be a 20-year thing, but you will see significant gains. I think at some point, whoever the next president is, from a political standpoint, they're going to be forcing Cuba to say some things, apologizing for some things in past. But I think this embargo will lift. But that doesn't mean it's all this infrastructure expansion, capitalism, the reshaping of Cuba is necessarily due to the U.S. There's a lot of other countries involved. They got to get their debt paid back first, and they're going to be telling Cuba what to do. So this is just a short video to tell you what to expect out in front of the mainstream media. Don't believe the rhetoric. Always look at what the other hand's doing. Have a great day.